Hello, I'm Jerry Barron, the Chief Marketing Officer at Cirrity. Today, I'll be sharing the secrets of the top partner sales reps who are doing well in selling Cirrity services. How do I define doing well? These sales reps are selling opportunities that are 5 figures or more in monthly recurring revenue. Deals like that are available to you too if you follow these best practices. First, some background on Cirrity. We began our data center operations in 2008 and rebranded as Cirrity in 2013. We've been in the business a long time and we understand what cloud services should be and especially what the services should be for VARs, ISV, and MSPs. We were started with the intention of being 100% channel only. Our background is in providing cloud services to MSPs, and we have tailored our solution to meet the needs of VARs, ISVs, and MSPs. Our platform is highly scalable, and it provides you a stable and recurring revenue model for our partners. We have an enterprise-class, highly secure infrastructure. Our services, infrastructure as a service, desktop as a service, and DR as a service, are all certified by Cisco as Cisco powered. We also have high levels of security certifications. AICPA SOC 2 Type 2 for our entire cloud operations and not just our data center. We have ISO 27001 certification, which means that our information security controls have been evaluated and considered to be effective. We have PCI DSS compliance as well as HIPAA compliance. In our case, we sign business associate agreements for HIPAA, something that's required. And then finally, we were the first U.S. company to receive the Cloud Security Alliance Security Trust and Assurance Registry certification. That certification looks at your security controls for a multi-tenant cloud environment. And we have been certified by a third party rather than self-reporting our belief that we're compliant. We actually had somebody test it and prove that we are. So what's the first best practice? Well, one of the things that we see the best sales reps that we work with do is they challenge their customer status quo. Your customers are looking to the cloud to transform their businesses and improve customer experiences. The notion that they can lift and shift their current infrastructure and move it to the cloud to save money is no longer the driving force behind cloud adoption. When you look at these stats, you can see that your customers want to develop new products and services and new lines of businesses. If you are not in those conversations, it's probably because they don't think that you, as a sales rep, can add any value to that conversation. You can change that perception by challenging their status quo. I'll give you an example. One partner rep was following up on a backup as a service lead from our website. When they called the prospect, they found out that the prospect was looking for backup as a service as one option as they considered what to do with their second data center. Had the rep just responded to the questions about backup as a service and not challenged the customer to find out more about what they were doing, they would have missed this opportunity. But by asking questions and being able to position our infrastructure as a service, they've now turned a few $100 opportunity into a few $1,000 opportunity. Your customers and your prospects want solutions, not answers. When they call you on the phone, rather than just answering their questions, challenge them. Ask them why they're doing what they're doing. Ask them what they think they're going to get out of what they believe their vision of a solution to be. And challenge them to consider the cloud and the opportunities that are available with the cloud. If you challenge them, you can help them to get a better solution, and you also position yourself as a consultant and not a vendor. So challenge their status quo. Another thing that the most successful reps are doing is they're involving Cirrity very early in their process. They're inviting us to be directly involved in the client buying process, starting with the initial call. And there's no danger in doing this because we don't compete with you, we will not take business from you, and we cannot succeed without you. We're actually committed enough to our partners to watch business walk away. Recently, one of our partners had an end user that decided after signing the contract and starting the service that they really wanted to go direct with Cirrity. The reason was that they had in the past been held hostage by another vendor, another reseller, and they wanted to make sure that if anything happened in their relationship with the reseller, that they'd be able to get to their data. Upon their first request, we turned them down. We said Cirrity doesn't do business directly. That's not our business model. But we didn't stop there. We did offer them an alternative. We were willing to sign an agreement that said that if anything happened in their relationship with the partner, that we would make their data available. In our minds, that was a reasonable compromise. However, this end user insisted that they wanted to have a direct relationship with their cloud provider. And so in the end, we decided to walk away from that business. It was a 5-figure a month, monthly recurring revenue deal. Hard to see it go, but it was the right thing for us to do. We do not compete with our partners. We don't take business from our partners. I want you to hear that very clearly. We don't take business from our partners. It's on the basis of that I'm confident that if you're willing to let us speak to your clients and speak to your prospects, we can help drive business for you and help you build pipeline. I don't know of any other cloud provider that is committed to partners as much as we are. So how can we help you win deals? We have the Cirrity White Label SME. Essentially, my entire staff and their expertise and their knowledge is available to you to help you win deals. We can help you do all of these things here. We can help drive opportunities into your pipeline. We have several cases of our partner account managers finding new opportunities with both existing customers and with prospects. Our PAMs have called on leads that came through your websites and through your events and have uncovered interest. We recently had one of our PAMs call on leads that we collected at Cisco Live, and we've identified 4 potential opportunities for one of our partners. Another one of our PAMs called on leads that the partner had collected at various events and also identified several opportunities. You see, we talk cloud every minute of every day. We understand when a client starts to speak about their environment, what the opportunities are to position cloud. We know the questions to ask to identify interest and to cultivate it. Let us call on your customers and prospects with you and find cloud opportunities for you. There's no need to struggle or to miss out on opportunities that are right there at the tip of your finger when you could just pick up the phone and call us and get us involved. Let's talk about solution design. Our solution architects are masters at designing solutions. They both work at MSPs and understand the various options that their end user clients have. They understand what the choices are. And they also know what the alternatives. And so they are often complimented on how well they understand and explain the options available to your customers and prospects. Leverage their expertise to increase the depth and credibility you present to the market. That's why they exist. They're there to help you. Use them as an extension of your team. During the buying process, we expect you to encounter resistance and objections. As far as I'm concerned, the selling starts with the first no. Bring us in to help you overcome these obstacles. We're constantly building tools as we understand the objections that you face to help you articulate the value and the differentiation of the Cirrity solution much better. There's nothing more than I hate than to hear that we lost the deal, and when I start to dissect the reason that we lost the deal, it was something that could have been avoided. I've heard things like, well, people didn't know Cirrity that well, or people thought Cirrity was too small, or people didn't know about Cirrity certification. These are all things that if you get us involved, we can help you address and make sure that we come out looking strong. We also provide extensive marketing support to help drive demand. Through our Reseller Success Portal, you have hundreds of assets that we've created to help you position yourself to win business. And we customize those assets for your needs. We can customize our email campaigns, our landing pages, our microsites, our ads, our other resources that are there to either white label them so that they look completely like yours or to co-brand them. We'll change the messaging. We'll change the call to actions. We'll do whatever we can. So again, through our white label SME, it's a unique service we offer where my entire staff of sales and marketing are an extension of your team. Take advantage of that. A third thing that the best-selling partner sales reps are doing is they're questioning infrastructure resiliency. Backup, disaster recovery, and business continuity are the sources of the most leads for Cirrity today. They're also the sources of the most transactions for Cirrity's partners. Backup and DR, they're the easy way for companies to get into the cloud. They view it as a lot lower risk, and frankly, when you look at these statistics and charts, most of these companies have very, very immature business continuity plans and business continuity setups. So there's an opportunity there. Many companies don't have the capital to be able to have a second data center to offer themselves resiliency and redundancy. Or the capital they have, they don't want to spend on a storage area network or a NAS. So we offer them opportunities to have the resiliency in their business without having to expend the capital. So the reps that are most successful partners know that most of their clients don't have a business continuity plan. So how do they benefit from knowing this information? They are not shy about asking their existing clients how downtime affects their business, what the cost of a minute or an hour or a day of downtime is, or how they're handling backup and disaster recovery to prevent downtime. In fact, these reps, whenever they provide managed services quotes, they automatically bundle in a cloud backup solution. They tell their clients that they're not going to be responsible for managing an environment without having a backup of that environment. It's an easy way to complement what you're already doing with your clients in a way that adds value to them. With Cirrity's Revive and Restream services, you have a variety of options available to provide backup and disaster recovery solutions that match your needs, your clients' needs, based on industry leaders. Our Revive is powered by StorageCraft, the same product used by Datto. vStream Vault and vStream Recovered are powered by Veeam, the industry leader in backup for virtual environments. And vStream Snap Recover is powered by Zerto, the industry leader in disaster recovery for critical workloads. So you have a full gamut of solutions to offer to your customers from the smallest business to the largest enterprise. If you're not bringing up backup in your conversations with your clients, you're missing out on the easiest opportunity to generate monthly recurring revenue for yourself. Something else that our top sales reps are doing is they're focusing on business needs. As was mentioned earlier, businesses are looking to use the cloud to do something different. Ultimately, they want to increase shareholder value. And the 5 primary ways to do that is to grow revenues, optimize expenses, improve cash flow, maximize asset use, and manage risk. Here you see listed under each of these strategies specific ways in which cloud services can be used to implement that strategy. The sales reps that are winning the cloud deals understand a few things: that they need to sell to multiple people in the organization and not just the IT shop, that they need to be able to speak the language of the line of business and C-level executives, and they need to understand the needs of those outside of IT. This one simple chart gives you a place to go if you want to know when you talk about business needs, how to talk about cloud in the context of each of these areas, how you can grow revenues through using things like desktop as a service for remote access to applications and data, how to optimize expenses by shifting from CapEx to Opex through the cloud, how to improve cash flow also by shifting CapEx to Opex and by driving recurring revenues, how to maximize asset use. So rather than paying for very expensive desktops and laptops, using desktop as a service to replace those devices with thin clients or zero clients and having all of the power and the functionality being in the virtual desktop. And then managing risk, business continuity we've already talked about, reducing the ability for data to be leaked off of endpoint devices through desktop as a service and other things. So use this tool. That's what our best sales reps do, is they understand these 5 business strategies and they understand how to communicate with the C-level and lines of business executives and translate those needs into capabilities that the cloud can offer to them. To give a more comprehensive list of the specific types of business needs that you can look at this and see that very few of these business needs are specific to IT. Next, I'm going to show you how the business needs of the various C-level executives are related to one another. The business issue map is a tool that we use and we share with our partners to help you to become much more agile in speaking to C-level executives. And it's a map of the interrelation of organizational pain and impact. That could be how much something costs or how much revenue they're missing out on, how long it takes to do something, the number of things that they can do, the percentage growth that they want, that are experienced by key roles involved in an opportunity. So during a complex sale, several parts of the organization experience pain. And it's important to identify the type of pain experienced by each area, the impact of the pain, and then how that pain relates to the pain felt in other areas. Once you can identify the interrelationship between the pains, you can map out how your solution addresses each of them. So the understanding of this organizational independence increases your ability to leverage different parts of the organization to promote the benefits of your solution. There's no question that selling cloud is a complex sale. There are people beyond the CIO's office that need to be involved as they understand the cash flow implications that the CFO cares about, or they understand the operational implications that the COO would care about, or in some cases, the ability to better service customers or faster service customers that someone leading sales or marketing would care about. So if you can convince the CIO that your solution actually helps to address their pain as well as the pain of other C-level executives, you actually put them in a stronger position to be an advocate for your solution. The organizational buying vision is a tool that we've created that helps you to understand and highlight how your solution, or the lack of it, can affect each decision maker and influencer. And you can use it to articulate how the solution will benefit them and also to build your pitch and deliver and actually help your advocate to deliver your story once they understand the organizational buying pitch, whether you're there or not. Because once they understand how what you offer can address each and every person in that buying committee's needs, then they could sell it as well as you can. So here's, as an example, we start with the CIO. This CIO has a pain that comes from not being able to ramp up remote personnel fast enough to support new clients. So this is a business where having customer support personnel on the keyboard typing in and doing data entry actually translates into revenue because that effort can be billable. The reason that they have that pain is it costs them time and money to send equipment to their new personnel wherever they are. They have to configure those systems. They have to set them up with the right software, have to ship them to the folks. And they're also concerned about information security. They really have concerns about whether their data is ending up in places it shouldn't. Well, that CIO pain is actually related to the EVP of sales. As I said, in this particular business, having someone on the keyboard typing in actually translates to a billable activity. So the longer it takes for the CIO to be able to roll out new equipment, the longer it takes for the EVP of sales to take on new clients and start generating revenue from those clients. Right? So this EVP of sales business is they can't take on new business fast enough. That's because they can't ramp up remote personnel fast enough, which is the CIO's problem. The COO also has a problem because they're looking at overall revenues from their operations, right? Sales is the mechanism for driving those revenues. And so they see their revenue growth is lagging and their profits are not as high as they should be. And it's because they can't take on business fast enough, which is the EVP of sales problem. And their problem is because they can't ramp up remote personnel fast enough to support new clients, which is the CIO's problem. So you can begin to see how everyone's problem is interrelated. And finally, the CEO is sitting there saying, my job is to increase the value of this business. The value's not growing fast enough because our revenues aren't growing fast enough and our profits aren't where they need to be. Well, the CEO is losing sleep over that. And that's because they can't take on new business fast enough. EVP of sales, she's losing sleep over that. because she knows that the reason she can't drive new business is because they're not ramping up the service personnel fast enough. And then the CIO is losing sleep because they're unable to ramp up people. So everyone is interrelated. This is an example of how you can use the business issue map and the organizational interdependency to talk about the solution to the various members of the buying committee, so to speak. This is a tool that we can help you to develop. We have some already in our Reseller Success Portal, and we'd be happy to develop some and customize them for the particular industries and markets that you pursue. So what's the fifth thing? The fifth thing is understanding that proposing cloud is not an option. It's something you should do all of the time. Always bundle cloud. The best way to get the conversation about cloud going with your clients is to always propose it. By doing so, you initiate their discovery into the potential benefits of cloud. You also take the lead in educating your clients about cloud. Failing to do so actually gives someone else the opportunity to educate your client and to establish themselves as the cloud consultant. You want to be the one that's driving that conversation. And I know for some reps, there's the fear that if they talk about cloud, that it might jeopardize their hardware or their software sale. But the reality is, if your customer's not ready for cloud, you mentioning cloud isn't going to in any way impact a decision that they were already going to make to buy hardware and software. So you don't lose anything, but you actually gain something because now you're letting your client know that you do have a cloud solution to offer to them, which means when they begin to get ready to look at cloud, you'll be on the top of their mind. If you don't bring up cloud, then you won't even be on the list, and you may find out that they've already made a decision to move to the cloud and you were on the outside looking in. Sixth thing that the top sales reps that work with us do is they diagnose needs. The best reps are probing to better understand their clients' needs. They want to understand the reality of the situation. What's really going on? What's really happening? Not just the question that you asked me about how does your backup work, but what's driving you to take a look at backup in the first place. That's how one of our partners identified that it was really an opportunity to help their end user maybe eliminate a second data center, and that was the real catalyst for the exploration. It wasn't that they were looking specifically for backup. In diagnosing, you want to understand and quantify the impact. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much does it hurt? That's a common question that doctors will ask. Well, it's the same thing. You need to understand how painful the current situation is to understand if there's a significant motivator for change. Which leads us to the third thing, is they want to understand the drivers for change. It's important to identify early if there's enough pain for your client to take the effort and make the investment to make a change. If you don't, you'll find yourself just giving free education. They'll tap your brain for everything that you know about cloud, but they won't do anything about it. So it's important to understand these things as you diagnose. One of the tools that we've created for our partner sales reps is the Diagnostic question prompter. You'll see here the pain. That should be familiar from what we showed you before, the business issues map. The situation is the person who's feeling the pain. The capability is what do we have to offer. And the way this is broken up is in 3 columns. One column deals with the reasons for the pain. So for example, you would look at this and say, I understand you can't ramp up remote personnel fast enough to support new clients or benefit from lower labor rates. Is that because you have to send laptops and PCs to new remote personnel? And if they say yes, that gives you now the opportunity to go to the second column, which is the impact column, to understand what's the implication. How much does it hurt? So you could then ask, if they said yes, well, is this pain causing delays in ramping up new remote personnel? How much longer is it taking to ramp up your remote personnel than you would like? How does that delay affect your ability to start doing billable work for your clients? And it's through the impact section that you can begin to take the pain that they have and quantify it. So delays in terms of hours or days can be translated into dollars if you map that against what their cost of their personnel is. How much longer is it taking to ramp up? Well, that can also be translated into dollars when you look at the delay on the billable work. So asking the impact questions are very, very important because one, it allows you to understand how critical this is of an issue for them. And number two, it allows you to begin to quantify the pain, which then becomes very, very important in value justification. And then finally, you can go to the capabilities column after you've gotten the reasons, you understand the impact, you understand that this is truly a problem that has a significant impact for them and you've quantified it. Now you can begin to tee up the capabilities that you can offer through cloud services without explicitly saying cloud. So for example, you could say, what if you could send new employees less expensive thin clients instead of laptops and PCs? And what if you could also let them use their own devices instead of providing laptops and PCs? What if you could immediately make a new desktop environment available to an employee without having to do any hardware or software configurations? And would it help you if you could immediately turn off desktop environments if the number of employees decreased? Through these 4 questions, I've actually positioned desktop as a service without ever saying desktop as a service. The power of doing this is that I can get buy-in when they answer affirmatively to any one of these questions for desktops as a service prior to me ever showing them the product or talking about its features or doing a demonstration. It puts me in the driver's seat. That's why we think the diagnostic question prompter is so powerful, and that's what we find that our most successful reps are doing, is they're asking diagnostic questions in this flow. The prompter isn't a single question prompter, so there are other reasons. So the prompter that you would actually get from us would have 2 or 3 of the most common reasons that we find that are underlying a particular pain. So another reason could be that they're concerned about the security of the client data on the laptops and PCs of new remote personnel. So that's what impacts the CIO being able to put laptops out there very quickly. They have to put a lot of extra software to really make sure that that laptop is locked down. So, what's the impact of that concern? Well, is the pain causing the compliance team to worry about the negative impact if some of that data were to get lost or stolen? If this was a healthcare context, the question might be, is there a concern about being fined $500 for every lost patient record? There are things like that that you can build into the impact. And then again, teeing up the capabilities, would it help if you could provide the remote personnel access to client data on an environment you centrally manage? What if you could be confident that the centrally managed environment met global security and compliance standards? With those 2 questions, I've positioned our desktop as a service as well as the high level of security compliance that come with Cirrity's Secure Cloud Desk. So again, a very, very powerful tool that we make available to you. We have tools, diagnostic prompters that are specific to healthcare and other industries, and then we have others that are cross-industry. So again, tap into our Reseller Success Portal and take advantage of the tools we provide to you. A 7th thing that partners do, the successful partner sales rep, is they emphasize Cirrity security and compliance capabilities. We have a very, very high level of security and compliance. And when you look at the graph on the right, you can see that the number of information security threats is increasing. I don't think that's any surprise to anyone. But we have a high level of information security of compliance above the industry standard. Beyond being HIPAA compliant, we sign subcontractor business associates agreements. That's very, very important in healthcare. We're a PCI DSS Level 1 service provider. We're ISO 27001, which means our information security practices have been audited by a third party and determined to be effective. This is unlike companies that you've heard of that had breaches that were PCI compliant, but the controls that they had were very ineffective and hence they were breached. We have AICPA SOC 2 Type 2 for our entire cloud operations and not just for the data center in which we operate. We're the first U.S. company to be certified for the Cloud Security Alliance Security Trust and Assurance Registry. It means our multi-tenant cloud environment has been evaluated by a third party to be effective, unlike others that self-report that they believe that they are compliant. And honestly, how many people are going to give themselves a negative report? The successful partner sales reps recognize that our compliance is a differentiator in the market. So rather than only focusing on industries that they think require compliance, they use our compliance to provide assurances to their customers in all industries. Everyone cares about security and compliance. They see our compliance as a way to set a high bar that many competitors will not be able to match. So rather than viewing it as a premium that the customer doesn't need, they actually see it as a necessity that the customers need, and they actually challenge the customers as to why they would look at a cloud provider that doesn't have the same level of security as Cirrity. Puts themselves in a stronger position. It costs us 6 figures a year to maintain our high levels of security. How many of your customers have the budget to match that? How many of them have the certifications that we do? And how could they benefit if they had Cirrity's level of security and compliance operating in their environment? The 8th thing that our successful partner sales reps do is they network for referrals. They know that it's easier to work through introductions and referrals than it is to do a cold call. When I interviewed the most successful reps, it was clear that they find their best opportunities through networking. They read the local business papers to identify companies that are growing or undertaking new initiatives. They participate in various organizations that provide them an opportunity to meet decision makers and influencers in the companies that they're targeting. They seek volunteer roles in organizations that give them a chance to interact directly with decision makers and influencers. They assume that every organization is evaluating the cloud and therefore ask the people they meet how they're implementing cloud services to initiate new conversations. And I'm actually speaking about something that I do. I participate in networking and trade associations in Georgia and in Pennsylvania. And there have been a couple of opportunities that I have uncovered that we've passed on to partners. 5-figure opportunities that I uncovered by networking with someone and asking them, what are you guys doing for cloud? Or what's your experience with cloud? Or how have you adopted cloud in your business? And from those conversations, and because these people knew me from seeing me in these networking events or what have you, one thing led to another, and they were open to having a conversation with us. Given the concern that companies have around security and compliance in the cloud, there's no question that they are much more comfortable dealing with a trusted party than someone they don't. And this is where networking in these organizations allows you to be considered a trusted party. Another thing our successful reps do is they leverage LinkedIn to determine how they can use members of their professional networks to get referrals to customers and prospects that are looking at cloud for the first time or nearing the end of a contract with an existing provider. There's nothing wrong with tapping into that network and asking them to make an introduction for you. These are people that know you. These are people that have done business with you. These are people that can vouch for you. Ask them to give you an introduction, and then you take it from there. You're not asking them to close deals. You're not asking them to sign contracts, but you are asking them to share some of their credibility by introducing you to someone else. A 9th thing that our successful partner sales reps are doing is they discuss the benefits of Opex. They understand that companies want to be able to forecast and manage their IT costs and have the ability to save money as their organization scales up or scales down. So we have these 2 models. If you look at the one on the right here, you see that in traditional CapEx model, customers have to invest in the infrastructure, which is the box in the blue, as well as the various layers above the infrastructure. And they make that investment up front. And then they depreciate it over time or amortize it if it's software over time. But the problem is they have all this capacity that they typically are buying up front that they may not use until they get to year 2 or year 3. So their capital is locked up in all that capacity. By contrast, if you look at the right on the Opex model, the infrastructure, the bottom 4 layers from infrastructure support all the way down to the blue are all provided through the cloud platform. And better yet, you only buy the capacity that you need in year 1. And then when you get to year 2 and you need more, you just buy a little bit more. In year 3, you need some more, you buy a little bit more. So the use of your cash, different model altogether. Instead of it all being tied up in capital year one, you actually expend your cash as you need it. And that allows your organization, or actually your customer's organization, to focus on application support and application compliance, which frankly is really where the value of the business value comes from, right? The infrastructure isn't as valuable as the actual applications that are being used to operate the business, to generate revenue, to save costs, etc. So the question that you should be asking your clients is their return on invested capital on a non-LOB application investment, such as infrastructure, is that better than they can get elsewhere? Because if they're not making more, on that return on investment capital in the infrastructure than they are elsewhere, then they shouldn't be putting it into the infrastructure. They should go and deploy it somewhere that is going to drive more value for their organization. And that's a business conversation and an understanding. Another illustration of why the Opex model is so attractive to your end users and why you should be talking to them about it is in the case where the business scales down, right? It's not unusual that maybe they have a bad year. We certainly saw in 2008 what that did to a lot of businesses. So again, on the left side, capital is expended up front with an anticipation of what they're going to need in year 3, but they have a downturn in year 2, and now they're stuck with all that capital and all that infrastructure that they actually don't need, right? In the Opex model, you have the flexibility that if you have that downturn in year 2, well, you just scale back the resources that are consumed through the cloud platform. The business can still continue to focus on their core value, which is in the application, but now they have the flexibility when it comes to the infrastructure. So, similar question, is return on invested capital on excess capacity more than they can get elsewhere? Is it worth it for a company to put their capital in this infrastructure versus taking that capital and investing it somewhere else that actually helps them to grow their business? So these are 2 illustrations that you can use to visually help your clients understand the power and the impact of cloud, because there's a lot of cloud washing going on. People don't necessarily understand the benefits of it, but you speak to a CEO or CFO, possibly a COO, about these types of benefits, and now you could have them as an advocate, because I can guarantee you they're looking for ways to make sure that the capital that they expend is growing the value of their enterprise. The 10th thing that our best sales reps are doing is they're leveraging their trusted status. They know that the trusted relationship they've established with their clients gives them an opportunity to share new ideas with their clients, and that their clients will listen to them. Statistics show that it costs more to acquire a new customer than to retain an existing one, and that you significantly improve your chances of selling a new service if you target existing customers. The good reps know that their customers rely upon their firm to provide IT-based solutions, and they realize that they've already proven themselves. They therefore leverage their trusted relationship and services capability to quickly develop and deliver new business solutions to their clients on top of the Cirrity platform. What does that mean? That means that with a partner like Cirrity, you should be very comfortable going to your existing customers and proposing cloud solutions. We actually have a partner with whom we just did a promotion where they offered their customers, existing customers, opportunities to have a cloud strategy session. And for the partner, it gives them insight into the thinking that their end user has around the cloud, and they're bringing Cirrity in to be a part of that. In other cases, we've had partners that have allowed us to call onto their install base, and we found opportunities for them. We're not competing with you. We're here to help you. Every time something drops into your pipeline that we bring to you, it benefits us. There's nothing in it for us to try to develop pipeline for ourselves because we don't fulfill ourselves. So it's very safe. And so what we're suggesting is leverage your trusted status with your customers. Bring up the cloud conversation. Be the one that challenges their status quo. Be the one that talks to them about Opex and CapEx. Talk to them about diagnosing and understanding their needs, and show them that you can speak intelligently about those needs. And you will begin to see your pipeline grow. So what are the next steps? Schedule a call with your Cirrity Partner Account Manager. Review the account list. Take a look at your existing accounts and put a strategy together for how you want to get in front of those customers. Do you want to make joint calls together? Do you want to do something similar to our other partner that did the cloud strategy sessions? Do you want to offer some promotion? What do you want to do? Plan a campaign to introduce our services and then execute together using the assets provided by Cirrity. As I said, in our Reseller Success Portal, we have a wealth of assets that we have created, and we're probably adding 2 to 3 assets a week to our library to help you to be successful. Take advantage of all the investment we've made on your behalf to help you to be successful. As I said earlier, when you win, we win. When you're active with the cloud, we benefit. And we are doing all that we can to help you be successful. If you want to contact us, again, Jerry Barron, I'm the Chief Marketing Officer. I run all sales and marketing for Cirrity. You have my contact information here, my mobile number, my email address, as well as my LinkedIn. So my last question to you, are you ready to join the elite and become a cloud maverick and start driving a lot more cloud opportunity into your pipeline? We're here to be your wingman. We're here to be successful with you, and we look forward to working with you. Thank you.